recovered by TJ Watt. Always a nose for the ball. Steelers allowed to hang in this game in the first half due to those drops. Go on to win it in the second half. 17-10 your final. Lamar, what more can you do? Steelers get their 6th win in their last 7 meetings with the Ravens. Something about the matchup. But you could see it early on. Baltimore had the game plan, just not executing it. The Steelers, 3-1 their last 4 games against the Ravens when trailing by double digits. So comebacks, the norm as well. Another big dog here, 4.5-point underdog Pittsburgh, cashing at 1.5 to 1.
Well, Kenny, that was a wild game. I guess your heart's racing a little bit. Simply put, how did you guys?
I think a complete, team effort, special teams, defense, offensively putting a drive together at the end to win, to win the game. And our defense sealed it. TJ Watt being TJ Watt, the best player in the world, in my opinion. Goes and does what he does. I think it's a full team effort.
All right, we keep track both on the micro and the macro. Here's a look from far higher than 30,000 feet. Most team wins in NFL history, including the playoffs. Steelers with their 700th franchise win. A lot of celebrations in the Steel City over the decorated history of that franchise. You see the Bears are on there.
I see your team on there, Moose. I see them. I see them.
Hey, it's a winning week there as well. Back in studio with Lige Douzable here to break this one down, Dooz. I think we could just play back the conversation from the green room that we were having throughout the entirety of that Ravens game. First half, they were the better team in every aspect, but just not executing in some of those passing downs in the red zone, goal-to-go situations. It's the drop passes that cost them the game here. How do you overcome something like that if you're Lamar Jackson?
I mean, you just got to keep swinging at it if you're Lamar Jackson. And you saw him. He kept coming out there swinging. And you talked about that red zone situation where he threw that interception to Odell Beckham Jr. You wonder, Moose, is that a lack of reps between the two? Let's not forget, Odell has missed the last couple games, hasn't been out there in practice. When you throw a fade to a receiver, a lot of receivers know where the quarterback is going to put that football. Lamar hung it a little short. Joey Porter Jr. did a masterful job of going up and getting that football. But even after that, Moose, they still had an opportunity to win the game at the end. Alex Highsmith beats Stanley around the corner, sack fumble, that ends the game. But I would say it was missed opportunities, drop passes, and let's not forget, right before half, they had an opportunity to put 3 on the board, decided to go for it on 4th and 2, came away with 0 points. Maybe Lamar doesn't hold the ball as long at the end if they only need to kick a field goal instead of scoring a touchdown. So all that came to fruition for the Ravens, and that's why they lost today.
We also want to welcome in those of you streaming NFL on CBS on Paramount Plus. Joe Musso alongside Lige Douzable, giving you all the highlights and reaction to what we saw in that 1 p.m. slate. Dudes, we should be sitting here talking about a developing passer in Lamar Jackson. He's been standing in the pocket and delivering the football. I know the drops are the issue here, but how have you seen that maturation process? Sometimes guy gets broken off with the check, and we see the opposite happen. We're seeing Lamar really develop in-pocket passing this season.
Yeah, we even talked about this in the green room. Like last year, we would see him maybe look at 1 read, 2 read, take off with the football. You saw him have patience in the pocket today, and it wasn't Lamar Jackson why they lost this game. We talked about it. 7 drops, and a couple of those moves were walk-in touchdowns. So he's not only being efficient with the football, he's throwing absolute dimes to his receivers. And you have to make defenses pay when you go man coverage. We saw the Pittsburgh Steelers made the Baltimore Ravens pay, right? 2nd and 10, trying to run the clock out. George Pickens on the outside, Marlon Humphrey. This is his first game back, so they tested him. George Pickens goes up, makes a big play, scores a touchdown, and puts the game away. You have to make teams pay when you go man coverage. That way, you also can get a lighter box to run the football. So until the Ravens can continue to catch the ball consistently, guys are going to stack the box. They're going to get man coverage because they believe that you can't come down with the football.
Something about this rivalry always has these two teams playing on a razor's edge, Deuce. And when we look at what should be for the Ravens, this should have been a win, but they don't count should haves. Moving forward, this is not new to just this game. The drops were glaring, but they've often let teams hang around that should not be hanging around. What's the coaching point by Harbaugh when you are trying to get a team to turn that corner, when you know you have the talent in place, and you're just not executing in those mid-game moments where you could turn a 1-score lead into 2 or 2 into 3? Where do they need to be better in that aspect?
It's a mindset, Moose. When you have somebody down, you have to bury him. We talked about the drop pass Rashad Bateman had. They would have been up 2 scores in that situation. Now you're forcing Kenny Pickett to come come out and beat you with his arm. Would he have been able to do that? We'll never find out because, like you said, Moose, they keep teams around. You can't have costly penalties. You can't have drop passes. You have to execute on offense. And when you have somebody up big, you have to bury them and not give them any room to give them any hope to come back in the game. That's where the Ravens have struggled this year. We saw it in the Colts game. Came back to bite them. They ended up losing that game. We saw it today rear its ugly head again versus the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And that type of football surely does not play in January. Lige Douzable, we appreciate you breaking this one down as we take a look at history repeating itself in a way. These Pittsburgh Steelers, these Baltimore Ravens, taking a look at the last two meetings. Week 17 last year, it was Pittsburgh by 3, this time by 7. It was Pickens to Pickett in both scenarios. We did have a Pickett to Harris here in Week 17 of 2022, but late comeback wins for the Steelers against the Ravens.
TJ, 10 points in the first 3 drives, then nothing, and 3 turnovers the rest of the game. What changed for you guys after this first couple?
Well, just tightening up. We know teams are going to score in the NFL. I mean, like we always say, they have scholarships too. They work all week. They create a great plan, and really proud of the way that we settled into the game and were able to bow up in a lot of big-time situations. I mean, the inside backers, I thought, played really well today. Obviously able to create some pressure up front, and then heck of a play by Joey Porter in a big-time moment in a big-time game against top-quality talent. That's a huge play.
You've been unquestioned leader of the defense. Is there anything you did in particular this week in preparation with the guys, whether it was motivation or just whether you guys studied together? Did you do anything different?
No, I mean, a lot of highs, a lot of lows. You need to stay constant to a degree. I mean, we're not going to change everything that we do. I think Coach Tomlin does a good job of getting us prepared and getting us ready each week. I think he did a great job this week of letting the guys that haven't been here know the importance of this rivalry, because at the end of the day, we have to know there's a lot of new faces in the locker room. And we really hit that point home, and you could feel it when we were out there playing today.
TJ, what is it that allows you guys to hang in there when it's not really going your way? It appears to be kind of one-sided in the first half, but you just hang in there the whole time.
We're just doing our job. I'm not paid to do anything other than go out there and make as many plays as possible and try to deliver the ball to the offense if we can, otherwise hold them to field goals. But I don't have time to worry about all the other things.
TJ, the significance of that kilogram block and the energy that it brought to your career, what's that?
Not surprised. The guy works his tail off. He's out there every day in the beginning of practice, pre-practice, working on his craft. And Coach Tomlin always says 1 block a year makes you great. And I mean, he has a whole bunch of them at this point in his career. And it's awesome to see a guy that the other team is scheming for make plays like that. And but like I said, I'm not surprised by his work ethic and being able to have that opportunity to make that play and then making it when he had it. And then obviously it just created a spark, and Steeler Nation came alive again for us, and it was huge. We absolutely needed them in the end, and like always, they delivered.
TJ, what changed in the second half that allowed you guys defensively to shut them down and eventually get the splash that you got?
I think we just settled in, really. I mean, I think we were gang tackling. We were able to make some big plays defensively, able to get after the quarterback, make him uncomfortable a little bit. I thought the coaches made some nice adjustments, and at the end of the day, it's all about execution.
Considering how you got here, does first place at this point feel pretty good, and good time for the bye week to get some guys back?
Yeah, good time for the bye week. I mean, the first place doesn't mean anything right now. We're still super early. Need to get some guys back. Need to just take some time, let the body rest a little bit, and look at the film.
After a week of talking about it, how different, if at all, did that Baltimore offense look and feel to you guys when you were playing against it?
I mean, it's always a tough physical game. I'm going to have to go back, look at the film, and really digest it like we were just talking. It's so hard to, you're just play in, play out. It's hard to have like a zoomed out perspective on the game until you watch the film.
Did you guys take a little boost from that 4th down stop in the second quarter in the locker room?
We're feeding off each other. I mean, we really are, and it doesn't matter who's humming offense, defense, special teams. We just need to feed off each other, and I feel like we did a good job of that today.
You surprised they didn't kick it there?
I don't know.
Anything else?
Yep.